Chances are if you clicked on this video, you are probably looking for different ways to add additional revenue streams to your existing apparel decoration business, or looking to start in apparel decoration with custom heat transfers. Maybe you haven't quite figured out what are custom heat transfers good for and if it's something worth getting into. Well, fortunately, you've come to the right place, because in today's video, I'm going to talk about 3 different things about heat transfers that's going to catapult your business to the next level. Alright, before we get into today's video, if you're new to this channel, my name is Henry Ma. I'm the CEO of Ricoma, and I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs start and scale in the custom apparel industry. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to our channel so you keep up to date with new videos as soon as they're released. And if you enjoy content just like this, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash that like button so that this content can be pushed out to more people who might find it helpful. And with that out of the way, I want to jump in and tell you about the first fact relating to heat transfer printing, which is it is super easy to learn and even easier to decorate. So in the heat transfer world, that can involve something such as heat transfer vinyl, 2-step heat transfer using a white toner transfer printer, or even sublimation. All of these methods I just mentioned involve using heat via a heat press to be able to transfer a printed design onto a piece of garment or a substrate. So now that you know what heat transfer involves, a combination of heat and pressure to be able to transfer and adhere a design to a piece of substrate, I want to tell you that it is super easy to learn and probably one of the lowest learning curves that you have to climb in the apparel decoration world. This is because heat transfer is a lot less technical and just involves a combination of the right heat and pressure to be able to successfully transfer a design onto a piece of garment or substrate. Granted, you do need to learn about the other part of the process, which is using the actual machine, whether it be a vinyl cutter, a sublimation printer, or a white toner transfer printer, and using that machine in combination with your heat press is going to get you successful results. Given its short learning curve, heat transfer will be a great option for beginners looking to get their foot in the door and start with heat transfer printing, or even for advanced and experienced decorators looking to expand their offerings with heat transfer. You can even get started with heat transfer just by buying pre-printed designs from a different vendor and then just getting a heat press to then transfer that design onto a piece of garment. So you really don't need any sort of artistic or design background to get started with heat transfer if you buy pre-made designs. Now, for those that want to take heat transfer a step further, you can get a machine such as a sublimation printer, a white toner transfer printer that we offer here at Ricoma, and use that machine to print full color designs and then use that in conjunction with a heat press to then transfer that design onto a substrate. Now, that process does involve you creating your own designs on a piece of software that comes with the printer or whatever equipment that you're using to create the design, but it is still a much less of a learning curve versus other decoration methods like direct-to-garment printing, screen printing, or more advanced methods that require more time to train and learn. The process of heat transfer is actually quite simple, given you simply print a design onto a transparent sheet of transfer paper, then adhere it with an adhesive sheet of paper, and then be able to peel it and finally transfer it onto your substrate using a heat press. For most heat presses, you can actually set the temperature and the pressure, and as long as you know the right settings for your heat press, you can simply set it and forget it and be able to transfer the design flawlessly onto your substrate, provided you have the right parameters set in place. If you have a slightly lower budget to start out, and instead of going with a white toner transfer printer, you can also start with heat transfer vinyl, which is a lot more affordable, but it applies the same process. Instead of printing a design onto a piece of transfer paper, with heat transfer vinyl, you are using vinyl rolls and using a piece of software along with a vinyl cutter to cut out your design on that vinyl roll. You then use the carrier sheet along with the vinyl that was just weeded and cut out to be able to then combine it and transfer that piece of vinyl onto a substrate. All in all, just know that the heat transfer process all involve using heat and normally using a heat press, and those are pretty easy to learn and use. If you're interested to learn more about a two-step heat transfer process using a white toner transfer printer that we offer here at Ricoma, make sure to check out this card that I put above and down in the links below, where you can talk to a product specialist so you can find the right printer to fit your needs. All of our white toner transfer printer packages come with a heat press as well as the supplies and transfer paper, along with training and support to help you get started right out of the box. Alright, the second fact that I want to tell you about custom heat transfers is that it can decorate more than just garments. A common misconception that a lot of people have about heat transfer is that you can only decorate t-shirts or garments, but that is actually very far from the actual truth. The fact is, heat transfer is one of the most versatile and flexible decorating methods out there. This is simply because methods like heat transfer vinyl and two-step heat transfer using heat transfer paper actually adheres the design on top of the substrate. So it doesn't really matter what garment or substrate you're looking to transfer onto, as long as that item can fit under a heat press. And given there are a variety of heat presses to choose from, such as flat presses, hat presses, and mug presses, you just have to get the right heat press to be able to transfer that design onto that substrate. This really creates unlimited possibilities because you're no longer bound by the type of material you're transferring onto. It doesn't really matter if the material is wood, metal, polyester, cotton. It really doesn't matter what it is made of, as long as it can fit under the heat press and therefore the design can adhere to it. The versatility of heat transfer really is enticing to a lot of apparel decorators because now they're able to offer a lot more services and offerings to their customers and become that one-stop shop experience for their clients. Heat transfer can also be a huge complement and add-on to existing decorating methods that you already have in your shop. For example, some people like to combine heat transfer with embroidery to create these mixed media designs that they can sell for a lot higher of a profit. If you're interested to check out how mixed media designs using heat transfer and embroidery can help your business and what's possible with these two methods combined, check out these videos that I put in the card above and down in the links below, where it kind of shows you the process of how to combine these two methods. Given the versatility of custom heat transfer that I just mentioned, it not only allows you to decorate on a variety of items, but it also, more importantly, opens up the door for you to tap into additional markets. Think about it. You can enter into verticals like home decor by decorating decorative plates or even pillows and other things around the house. According to a recent study, the graphics t-shirts industry alone is worth $4.3 billion a year. And over the next 10 years, it is expected to grow over $9 billion globally. And the size of the home decor market, for example, is even greater, amassing over $200 billion by 2024. So with heat transfer and its ability to decorate onto a variety of substrates, you are really opening up the possibilities of expanding into different verticals and expand your product line. So now that we've covered how easy heat transfer is to learn as well as its versatility, I'm sure you guys are very interested in the profit potential and the numbers. Which brings me to fact number 3, which is heat transfer has some of the lowest startup costs compared to big earning potentials. Let's break down some of the numbers of what it will take for you to get started with heat transfer using several different methods, and what are the profit potential on the back end and what you can sell these items for. First off, you'll probably need a heat press, as that's the common denominator across all of these heat transfer methods. On average, a quality heat press can probably range somewhere around $300 to $400 on the lower end to $1,200 to $1,500 on the high end. For example, Ricoma's standard mug press is a little over $200, and you can get a Ricoma auto-open flat heat press for somewhere around $700 to $900. These costs are extremely low compared to some other decorating methods, which can cost tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. Now, the heat press is only one part of the equation, and unless you are looking to buy pre-made designs and just using a heat press to transfer them onto substrates, you'll need some sort of other equipment to be able to print custom designs. If you're looking to do sublimation, for example, that can cost you maybe $400 or $500 for a sublimation printer, maybe a little bit closer to $1,000 on the higher end, and that, along with a heat press and some supplies, can get you started with sublimation. If you're looking to do heat transfer vinyl, which is also a very affordable method to get started with, you're able to buy a vinyl cutter, such as the one that we offer here at Ricoma, for about $1,200. Or if you're looking to go a step beyond that and be able to print full color designs and not just simple one color designs with vinyl, you can choose to go with a white toner transfer printer package like the one that we offer here at Ricoma for about $7,000 to $8,000. We also have financing available that allows you to take advantage of low monthly payments with 0% financing, and you can always have the option to prepay the loan early without any penalties. On top of the inexpensive equipment cost that it takes to get started with heat transfer, the ongoing supplies and materials are also relatively inexpensive. For example, heat transfer paper, if you're using white toner transfer printing, costs probably around $2 per piece, and vinyl rolls are around $10 to $15 on Amazon. And with vinyl rolls, you can also cut them into smaller pieces and use them for multiple designs. Finally, the blank substrate that you're transferring your design onto, let's take a t-shirt for example, probably costs around $3 to $4 at wholesale prices. So all in together with the blank substrate along with the materials and supplies that you're using for that one transfer, you're probably able to get a full transfer for around $6 to $7 all in. On the back end, for example, with heat transfer vinyl, you can probably sell a heat transfer vinyl t-shirt for around $15 to $20 and a full color heat transfer using heat transfer paper for around $20 to $25. The two-step heat transfer using white toner transfer printing is able to give you a little bit of a premium on the sale of the product because you are printing full colors versus something that's a little bit more limiting with heat transfer vinyl. And if you're using 0% financing, which we offer here at Ricoma, you can easily start to see how one order of maybe a dozen shirts per month can easily cover your low monthly payment. So right around now, you might be thinking to yourself, so how long would it take me to actually do a full transfer? The answer is not very long at all, and here's the breakdown for these several different heat transfer methods. For example, if you're using heat transfer vinyl, it might take you a few minutes to load the vinyl into the vinyl cutter and have it actually cut for you, and then having to spend some time to weed out the excess vinyl. If you're using a white toner transfer printer, that process literally takes you under 20-30 seconds to print a design onto a transparent piece of transfer paper. Then after the design, whether it be the vinyl or the full color transfer has been set up, the next step is to transfer it onto the garment. And that process only takes about 1 to 2 minutes, taking into consideration you want to flatten out the fibers on your garment before you do the transfer, and the actual transfer process probably varies from 30 to 60 seconds depending on the method. So overall, each full transfer, whether using heat transfer vinyl, sublimation, or white toner transfer printing, really takes a couple of minutes to get that done. When you break down the profit potential on an hourly basis, that number skyrockets even further precisely due to the fact that heat transfer takes so little time. All right, you guys, so those are the 3 main benefits to starting or expanding your current business with heat transfer. I hope that you found all of this information helpful and you realize that heat transfer is not only easy to learn, but also pretty easy to decorate, that it has a wide range of capabilities to be able to transfer onto a variety of substrates, and the fact that it has low startup costs and a pretty high profit potential, especially on a per hour basis. With the consumer desire for convenience at its peak, and with everything pretty much integrated nowadays, it is super important to become a one-stop shop for your customization business, and heat transfer is a great way to get you there. All right, you guys, that's it for us for today. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels down below. We're very active on Instagram and on TikTok for some entertaining content. If you haven't done so already, make sure to smash that subscribe button so you keep up to date with new videos as soon as they're released, and give a thumbs up to this video if you found this content valuable. Finally, to learn more about the world of decorated apparel and to network with others that share similar interests, make sure to join our free Facebook group, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery. I put that down in the link below, where there's now over 30,000 apparel decorators in there sharing their tips and tricks of the industry, and you can be a part of the conversation. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.